with you people? It is week 3, and Brent has done a good job so far, okay? I don't know what you guys expect from Brent Key up until this point, okay? Does our team have flaws? Yes. I come on and complain about them just like you do, okay? There's a lot of flaws. The defense sucks. The special teams, not up to standard. The offense is pretty good, though. Not perfect. Not enough to where it can carry us to win against, really good competition. But that's just it. Really good competition that we face. Put things into perspective here, okay? It's week 3, and we have played Louisville, who's undefeated. Looks like they're going to contend for the conference. I was dead wrong about them in the offseason. They look like an actually good team, okay? They look like one of the best teams in the ACC. And Ole Miss, who's ranked in the top 25 and is a solid SEC West program, okay? And yes, we got, we got beat last night. Look, okay, they covered the spread. They won. It looks like a blowout if you looked at the score. Watch the game. Watch the game. Watch the football game. People are like, oh, look at 42-0 last year. We had we had a little bit of improvement from last year when it was 42-0. Now it's 48-17. Use some critical thinking. Use some critical thinking. Use some football knowledge. Use it. It wasn't a blowout. I don't care who you are, okay? It was close the entire game. It was a one-score game in the fourth quarter. If you watch the game, okay? This is what happens in a close game, okay? You get to the end, the team that's trailing, yes, we got beat. They were better. The team that is trailing will have the ball and try to go for it on 4th down in their own territory. And if they get it, then guess what? The game is super close. If they don't, then the other team gets the ball in really easy field position and obviously have a really easy time scoring and the game's over. What would you rather him do? Would you rather him punt the ball and make it look like not a blowout? Because that's not what you should do in that situation. That's something Geoff Collins would do, okay? I'd rather he go for it every time and it gets out of hand in the last moments rather than just punting it and making it look like not as a bad loss. Do whatever it takes to get the win, okay? We rolled the dice. We had to. We were in a down position at the end, We were in a down position at the end, and we couldn't, and it didn't work out. And so, it looks like a blowout. It wasn't. It wasn't. If you watch the game, you know that. So, stop saying, got blown out again. Looks like Geoff Collins part 2. Dude, have you watched Tech? Anybody who honestly says that either doesn't know ball or hasn't watched Tech football. If you are watching Tech this year compared to the past 4 years under Geoff Collins, it's night and day. It's night and day. How can you people not see this? Yes, we still have a way to go, but think. It's year 1 still. Yes. Okay. It was a very hype offseason. I might have overestimated us even a little myself, picking us to win 8 games. This team can still win 6 or 7 games. This team can still win 6 or 7 games. I firmly believe that. Okay? Calm down. We played some really good competition in these first 3 weeks. And guess what? South Carolina State, we blew them off the field. Unlike last year when we played Western Carolina and struggled with them, we actually blew South Carolina State off the field. And we will with Bowling Green and Boston College and Virginia. We'll handle them no problem, okay? Geez, some of you people are too doom and gloom. I don't understand how you can watch 4 years of Geoff Collins football. That was middle school football. I'm dead serious. Have you ever, any of you watching, have you ever gone to a high school game and watched how sloppy and undisciplined they are? And I know this is a term that's thrown around as an insult or whatever. Oh, they're a high school team, blah, blah, blah. Watching Geoff Collins football coach teams was just like watching a high school football game. I'm not kidding. They were sloppy and undisciplined and unprepared for the games. That doesn't happen anymore. Brent Key comes into these games prepared to win. Look no further than the penalties. We were some of the most penalized teams under Geoff Collins. Penalties. For years and years, that was our issue under Geoff Collins, and it never got better. Well, it has this year. We are penalized very little now. Very little. Okay? They're disciplined. They're fundamentally sound. Yes, we have issues in certain aspects. You know, he's gotten rid of a lot of the old problems, but some new ones have popped up, okay? Special teams is not where it needs to be. And defense, particularly the defensive line, is not where it needs to be either. But I'm hearing some things like fire Coach Thacker. Dude, Coach Thacker had an amazing defense last year, okay? He had an amazing defense last year. He didn't forget how to coach from last year to this year. He's still the same coach, maybe a little better. It was night and day, our defense, from when Collins got fired to when Thacker took over, okay? It was night and day, and he didn't just forget that. Dude, don't fire Thacker. In my opinion, I think it's a personnel kind of thing on the defensive line. Our recruiting hasn't been stellar for the defensive line in the past years, and we've got some promising guys on there, but it's still not where it needs to be. And look, he got our absolute best possible option as a D-line coach, as Marco Coleman. But you can't expect it to just, it takes years and years. The lines of scrimmage take years and years of recruiting. And turns out replacing Keon White, Charlie Thomas, Zamari Walton, and Ace Sealy is not so easy. So our linebacker play has slipped a little bit. They still get after it. I mean, held Ole Miss to 10 in the first quarter. Our D-line is bad. They get stood up on every play, and it allowed, and there was these wide open holes that open, and it allowed Jackson Dart to just take off and tear us up on the ground. So that is an issue. That's going to take years to fix, okay? But, I mean, it can be improved. Our offensive line, I'm not so sure about this year, but, I mean, last year, our offensive line wasn't playing good towards the beginning of the year, and they showed improvement towards the end, And we've got some promising commits in the 2024 class. We got that 4-star edge rusher, and it's looking good, okay? So enough with the doom and gloom. It's year one. I can't comprehend how people, if you truly watched the last 4 years of Collins football and are watching Brent Key now and think it's the same, you just don't know ball. You just don't know ball. I don't know what else to tell you, man. This is night and day. We go into every game with a chance to win. We got beat. I happen to think that we got beat by two really good teams. We're not Oklahoma State out here losing to South Alabama, getting blown out, by a group of 5 teams. If this was Geoff Collins' coach team still, Louisville would have beat us 60-0. Ole Miss would have beat us 42-0 again. You know what I mean? So it's like, just chill out. And we're not, and guess what? Who we're also not? We're not Georgia, freaking sorry-ass, punk-ass Bulldogs who get to have the easiest cakewalk schedule, have the shittiest offense, and they start out the year with Tennessee, Martin, and Ball State, and then the worst SEC team. We don't get that. We don't get an entire month. Oh, and UAB next week. Woo! Better put my hat on for that one. We don't get an entire month of football to work out all of our kinks like some teams do. We don't get that. We get top 25 teams, 2 of them in the first month of the year. And Wake Forest on the road next week, which is no slouch. They did struggle with Ole Miss. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, Old Dominion. We'll talk about that this week, I'm sure. I feel good about our chances going into the Ole Miss game. It looks like a must-win. I would save the doom and gloom. Okay, I would save it. Let's see how we look against Wake Forest. Some of you people, I know it's a letdown. The Louisville game was hugely disappointing, especially not only that we lost it, but the way we lost it. But I would honestly almost rather lose that way, where you choke a lead, rather than losing, where you're just not as good. Because that's kind of what happened with Ole Miss. Not as good as them. So, chill out. I'm serious. I'm tired of seeing these Tech fans just calm down. Brent Key's the man. He's going to freaking have this figured out. We got a few years of recruiting and making up to do, okay? Geoff Collins didn't prioritize the lines of scrimmage or couldn't recruit them or wouldn't or whatever the situation was. We got to beef up the lines of scrimmage. And we got to find, some better, more skill position players on the defensive side. Guys that are playing good this year. It's just really hard to replace guys like Charlie Thomas, A. Sealy, Keon White, Zamari Walton. Just hard to replace that. I have faith in this team, you guys. So let's all just chill. We're going to have a good year. Okay? I firmly believe we're going to have a good year still. We're going to make a bowl. This is a bowl team I've seen the past 2 weeks. Got stuff to fix up. I'm not pumping sunshine here. Not pumping sunshine. I'll come on and criticize and tell you everything that's wrong too. But we got more work to do. So anyway, you guys, that's it. I just wanted to talk about all the doom and gloom going on. Hey, keep your chins up. I know I hang on longer than most. I didn't want Geoff Collins fired until the end of year 3. Most people want him gone long before that. So I tend to want to hold on longer than most. But geez, it's still year 1, okay, and it's week 3. Why don't we see us against some not top 25 competition first? Okay, all right, go Jackets, and I'll see you guys next time.